Hey everyone, welcome once again to yet another live stream at Hack This World 2.0's YouTube channel. Thanks a lot everyone for joining in. I can already see once again we all are here, super hyped up, super excited, full of energy and so much of enthusiasm at the same time. I see you all people adding lots and lots of emojis in the chat. That is super amazing to see. Keep adding all of those emojis. That gives all of us a super boost of energy. And I can't wait to start with today's session as well. Also, meanwhile you share all of your excitement in the chat, let me quickly let you know about what Hack This Fall is all about. Hack This Fall is a 40 hours virtual hackathon that we are going to host on 22nd to 24th of October. Currently, we are hosting speaker sessions, which is planned to schedule the entire September. So if you haven't checked them yet, make sure you visit our schedule page on our website and check all the speaker sessions coming up ahead. All the past speaker sessions have already been recorded and have been uploaded on our YouTube channel. Just in case if you have missed any of them, make sure you check them out. Other than that, for today, we have an interesting, very interesting topic. Azure Services for your hacks, and you might have wondered what it is all about, or how can we just use them while we are building some hack for the hackathon or anything else as well. So to answer all of those things, we have Sashrika joining us. Hey Sashrika, how's it going?
Hi Siddharth, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good and quite excited for this particular stream.
I'm excited too. And honestly, I was actually setting up both the screens so that I have this chat room running right beside me. So sorry if I was just distracted there for a minute.
No problem at all. As you can see, the chat has been full of excitement. They have been adding a lot of energy in the chat and can't wait to start with your session.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
mean,
think
I'm
about our
super
chat?
I am absolutely thrilled. I mean, I was already super excited for this session before I joined in, as we were talking about this backstage. But this chat room has got me nervous. They're so excited and they have so much energy, like just to start before the hackathon. I mean, it's still like a month or so before your hackathon begins, and I'm super excited to see the energy that they have up here. Keep it up, folks.
Yeah, and we do have one more thing from Raj. I know you are
Hi,
from
Raj.
Milichanet.
Hi, Raj. How are you doing?
Awesome. So let me quickly bring up your screen so that we can get this started.
Of course, yes. And let me see if the screen is visible and all good. Yep, looks fine to me. Cool. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So comment section, let us know if our screen is visible, if you can hear us clearly, and we'll begin in no time. I want to see that excitement right now in the comment section one more time before we start this, and we're all pumped up. Cool. All right. Yes, the screen is visible. Awesome. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for introducing Hack This Fall and us, and leaving us to do our work here for Azure, like for this workshop. We're working on Microsoft Azure today. But yes, awesome. So while the chat room sets in, give me just a quick second to see everything else is in place. I'm glad that you can see my screen and hear me clearly. And thank you so much for the love in the comment section. Love you all there. All right. So once again, hello everyone and welcome to this workshop, Azure Services for Students and Azure Services for your hack, whatever you want to call that. I mean, it's specifically, we're going to cover a lot of content here and I'm going to talk about what this workshop means. So if you're a beginner and have no clue whatsoever what I'm talking about right now, don't worry, friends. I've got the right workshop for you. I've covered everything from the basics. So in no time, you'll learn all about the services that you can use and make your hacks the best. Hack This Fall is coming up soon. And Siddharth and his team has worked like really hard to bring the best hackathon for you. So make sure you give him a lot of love in the chat room. So let's give him some hype and a quick shout out for Siddharth and his team for making Hack This Fall a great event. Now we'll be starting up with this workshop and we're here to make it easier for you to develop and build your own dream project. The right tools and the right services help you make that dreams possible, right? They'll help you build your favorite hacks, bring your awesome ideas to life. Now, the hacker community is an incredible place for you to come together, learn from each other, and build relationships. So here's what we're going to do. Today, right here in this workshop, We will learn about Azure services, but at the same time, we'll build a community together. We'll share love, we'll give shout outs, and we'll see what everyone has been up to. If you have some ideas while I go over all of those services, please share them in the comment section. Form teams within the comment section. Yes, that is possible. Absolutely. If you have a project idea, put that in and ask if someone would like to help you on your team, right? So we're going to do all that is required in order to build a great project, but as well as build relationships and see where this journey in Hack This Fall takes us. All right. Awesome. I can see that I can see Siddharth OP and a lot of love for Siddharth. Really love that in. Okay. Yes, Siddharth actually pulled this session right off GitHub Field Day, and kudos to him. I mean, I'm glad that he, took time to just take a break and everything. But I'm glad to see that he's working so hard for you all to bring Hack This Fall in picture. Cool, awesome. Now, okay, so where were we? We were talking about what we'll do in this workshop, right? So in this workshop, we'll talk about some of the resources you can use in your projects for Hack This Fall. And for future hackathons, my friends, you got it all right here. There are different tools that Azure offers, and we're going to cover, if not all, some of it. As not so famously quoted well by me, because I'm not that famous, you would never know the benefit of using something if you never know it exists, right? So hence, one might say that what it makes it so difficult to actually know about all the things, or to ask the right questions when it comes to chatting with mentors or other hackers or everything. In hackathons, this applies as well. You cannot learn how to use a tool if you don't know that the tool exists, right? So here I'm here to guide you about Azure and the services and everything else that goes above and beyond that. So if you've heard about it already, kudos to you. If not, we'll cover that right here. And if you've already heard about it, don't worry, there's much more. I can bet on this. There's much more you've not heard about. So we'll cover all that up here, and done and done. Awesome. Great. So before I get into all of this, you must be wondering who I am if you've not seen me before. I mean, as I can see from the comment section, most of you already know. But if you don't know me, here is what like a little bit about me. So let's start with introductions, but it's not just me who's talking about myself here, right? Share in the comment section, give me a little bit about yourself. Like, it's a digital world, I can't come up to your table and ask about you. So introduce yourself in the chat room. What's your name, where you're joining from? As for me, my name is Sashrika, and I am a software developer at Microsoft. I'm also a hackathon product specialist and an MLH coach for Major League Hacking. So you might see me around in hackathons. I recently hit my 50 hackathon target, which is awesome. I've successfully organized 50 hackathons, and I'm going in strong. So you'll see me working around planning experiences for MLH hackathons. Every weekend, we bring to you a new theme in our Discord server and hope to organize some great events in future. So if you want to chat about those hosted by MLH hackathons, or anything else in general, software engineering, or any of my experiences, feel free to hit me up on Discord. These are my socials. Feel free to connect with me. Make sure you drop a personal message if it's on LinkedIn, so that I know you're here from the Hack This Fall community. I would love to connect with you. Awesome. Hello. I can see a couple of folks here. There's Zia, who's an Azure developer. And we have Raj, sophomore at ITM Vocational University, Vadodara. Great going. We have Anubhav, third year BTech, upcoming Microsoft intern. Congratulations, fellow intern. So love to see you here. Where's Santosh? Santosh is, Mr. Doomster. I have seen Santosh around the Discord community. So thank you so much for joining in, Santosh. I see a lot of familiar faces. Glad to see all of you here. Awesome. So let's get right into the interesting stuff. Important bits are here. So now we'll discuss what are we here for. And I know I got you all excited about tools, services, and everything else. I got you all hyped up. All that shazazz is there. But what are we actually here for? My goal is to present to you solutions. Yes, that is it. That's it. We are not here to discuss all of the amazing, incredible problems that are out there, but we are here to discuss all of those ideas that would make those, that will solve those problems and bring those ideas to life. I'm here to help you create yours. And in this workshop, I'll cover the basics about Azure services so that you can use those services to make that dreams into reality. You can use them as a student, and I'll also talk about basic concepts and more, starting with what is Azure. So stay tuned. You're not ready for what's about to come. And with that being said, let's dive right into it. I can see a lot of chatter here and everyone is hyping each other up. So excited. I'm excited too. So let's get started. Awesome. Cool. Now, Azure for students. And again, this is like the swag we earn. Yes, it is free. These are the Azure tools. For those of you who don't know what Azure is, it's a service by Microsoft, and I'll talk about what that service does in just a minute. Now, this is a service used by business and enterprise, and we'll talk about what all services are included in this entire segment. But these are the services that you as students can also use to build your developer skills and explore solutions. What is more, you get $100 credit and free developer tools. It's hassle free. All you need to do is sign up without a credit card and start working, like get cracking on it. So I'll share the link at the end of this presentation. Where you can sign up for these tools and get excited about all of this. Learn about the services first. Think about the ideas you want to solve those problems and solution. And then at the end, I'll just share a link where you can sign up and then, get cracking, as I said. Awesome. Cool. Also, as we can see, there's a registration link for Hack This Fall Dev Post. Feel free to register to those. There are amazing resources there as well. Quick shout out for them and make sure that you register. Awesome. Cool. I can see that you're already excited about this. Great, great. Awesome. Right. So let's talk about the why, the what, and if you really need Azure. I mean, it sounds like a lot of hassle right now, right? I mean, there's so much you got to learn and how do you get started, stuff like that. I know that there are a lot of questions. So let me tell you why and how you, if you really need Azure in your projects. So Azure is a cloud computing platform, right? We know that. And if you don't know, I mean, I'll just cover what cloud computing is as well. Now, there is an ever expanding set of services. We're working really hard to bring those Azure services to you and to help you meet your goals. These are solutions for business, enterprises, and for student developers as well. These services range for simple web services for hosting your websites in presence of cloud to running fully virtualized computers for you to run those software solutions that you build. Azure provides a vast amount of cloud-based services like remote storage, database hosting, and centralized account management. It also offers capabilities like AI and IoT, which are pretty common in hacks these days. So this is something that you might be interested in. So we'll cover it basically to put it in an easy way out there. It gives you the freedom to build, manage, and deploy applications on a massive network using your favorite tools and frameworks. So whatever it is that you're using, Azure will have an extension, plugin, or a service for that. So you can check out all those services online and learn more about the ones that are relevant for you. In this presentation, I will cover the main ones to give you an overview of things. Feel free to dive deep alongside. Now, this is a quick disclaimer for everyone. If you are learning about it for the first time, as soon as I tell you about a service which interests you, there's a lot to cover, like I told you, right? So if a service interests you, just Google it, or in my case, I would say Bing it alongside and see what is there in that service and see if that interests you. Whether it's something that you can use for your hack or not, make sure that you know if that service interests you, you know something about it so that you can deep dive on it later and develop your skills alongside. It's a very important skill set to have. Cool. Awesome. I can see. Okay, let me see the comment section just to see that I haven't missed anything. I'm just actually going here and there on the presentation as well as to see if the chat is doing fine. But yeah, seems like everything is good. You're just chilling. Love to see it. Cool. Now, there are so many services, as we mentioned, right? I don't know where to start. No, if you already know about those services or have just seen them on this presentation or on the website right now, when I told you just go ahead and find out about the services, you know that there are so many services. So what is it that you can do with them? What is it that, where it is that you can start? What is it that these services do? I'll divide them into 3 broad categories, but there are so many more. But these are the 3 categories that are important for you as a student, to know about them, so that as a hacker in one of the hacks, if you're focusing on one of these 3 main areas, you know what that Azure is there as bringing a solution on the table, right? So it helps you. You can start building apps. You can develop with your favorite languages, create custom apps in Visual Studio. For those of you who are familiar with Visual Studio, kudos to you. If you're not, it's an interesting developer tool, an amazing one. You can download it and get started in no time. There's also you can also explore AI or work with big data set. This gives you the ability to see, hear, speak, understand languages, do more with APIs, and use Azure Cognitive Services. I'll talk about what Azure Cognitive Services is, but yes, keep that in mind. There is a lot of services that will come right up on your screen. You can also work with big data sets, as I mentioned. You can train machine learning models faster and with the latest open source technology. As I said, you can use your favorite tools and use the Azure capabilities and combine them to make an awesome hack not this weekend, and hack this one. Cool. Right. I can see that AI services of Azure is really great. I've done the certification. It's really awesome. Congratulations, Raj. That is amazing to hear. Cool. How many services are there approx? Oof. Good question. Azure has, I think, right about 100 or a little more over that services, but not everything is relevant. Not everything would be relevant to you for a hack perspective, if you're talking about. But yeah, there are so many services, and there are so many that you can use in this one. Cool, awesome. I can see that there are questions. Yes, there's a good question. Since there are so many services, how to decide which one to use? That's what I am here to help you out with, Prathamesh. So I'm going to tell you answers for that one. Just hang in there, stick with me till the end of this presentation, and I'll give you all your answers. Cool. Awesome. Let's learn about in order to actually understand what Azure is truly, let's learn from the basics. So learning terminologies is important. I'll be talking about this throughout the presentation, so you need to know what cloud computing is, right? Cool. So cloud computing is the delivery of computing services all over the internet, which is otherwise known as cloud. These services include servers, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, intelligence, and I mean, there's so much more, right? So all of these services linked together, all of these computing services are available over the internet, and you can use them for your own self. So cloud computing offers faster innovation, flexible resources in a sense, and also gives you the capability or economies to scale your applications. So you work and pay for only the services you use, and your cloud computer manages the upkeep of your infrastructure, right? So it's very simple. You use the services, but you don't have to worry about the aftermath of it or how it's working at the back end, right? How cool is that? To put it in another way, cloud computing is a way to rent the compute power and storage from someone else's data center. You can treat cloud sources like you would use your own resources in your own data center. And when you're done using them, you just give them back. You're built for only what you use. Sounds interesting, right? How many of you are excited about this? Cool. Now, what does Azure offer us? That's what we're here to learn. But before that, let's take up a quick question. Anubhav is asking, what actually happens if data centers go down for an unavoidable reasons? Very good questions. So the way that Azure works is that there are data centers located all around the world, right, in every region. And if you want to read up more about it, there's also there's also information about how it's divided into different locations and participate in regions where there are clusters of these Azure data centers. So if one goes down, don't worry. You can always use the compute power from another server. Cool. Excited. I am excited as well. Awesome. Let's get right into it. Talk about what Azure offers us. That's what we're here to learn, right? With the help of Azure, you have everything you need to build your next great solution. I know you have a lot of ideas for your next hackathon and hack this fall, and there are several benefits that Azure provides. So you can easily invent what this means for your hack, right? You're ready for the future, for continuous innovation from Microsoft resources, and you can support your development for today and product vision for tomorrow. That's what I'm here to talk about. Take your products even beyond hack this fall. If you've built something with so much blood and sweat and all of those late nights, just take that beyond. Build those products up until the very end. You can build on your own terms. You have choices, and with the commitment to open source as well, you have support for all languages and frameworks. You can now build however you want and deploy it where you want to. You can also operate in a hybrid way, which means that if it's on the cloud, on the edge, on premises, wherever, Azure will meet you there. So you integrate and manage all your environments with tools and services. And if that's not convincing, you also get security from ground up. There is a team of experts ready to help you and support you if you reach out to them, right? Interesting? All convinced? Azure on point? Awesome. So again, sorry about that. As I mentioned, Azure provides more than 100 services that enable you to do everything from running your existing applications on virtual machines to exploring a new software, which you don't know about. For example, let's say you want to build an intelligent bot, or let's say if today I want to learn more about mixed reality. All of it is there for you, right? So you can try out and get started in no time. There are many teams who are exploring cloud by moving their applications to virtual machines in Azure. So you can migrate your existing apps, you can build a new app, you can try out virtual machines and learn more about cloud right at Azure's platform. So it's all interesting and it's all there. Like let me give you an example. For example, Azure provides, as I mentioned, AI and machine learning services that naturally communicate with the users through vision, hearing, and speech. It also provides you storage solutions that you can grow to accommodate your database, right? There's massive amounts of data that you want to store in your application, and it will be right here. So Azure Services enable solutions that are feasible without the power of any of your own data centers. So it's all pay as you go on their own cloud servers. Isn't that interesting? Cool, awesome, really amazing. That's so easy to deploy and monitor on Azure. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you about the services. So are you ready? Next up, we are talking about, like, I'm going to show you in an overview of what all Azure services are there broadly. As I mentioned, there are hundreds of them, so I just couldn't possibly put them on one screen, but I'm going to show you the main one in the next slide. And I'm going to cover each of them going forward. So are you ready? Comment section. I need some enthusiasm from you. Ready? Excited? Convinced that Azure would help you for your hack and for your development purposes? I mean, I'm super excited for it. I literally won my first hack through Azure. I created a chatbot. Awesome. Great, great, great. Okay, so whenever I'm looking here, I'm not ignoring you, all right, friends? I'm looking at the comment section. I'm actually concentrating on you, so sorry if that is different. Cool, cool. Awesome. I can see that you all are excited, so let's get right into it. We're coming up with Azure Services on your screen. I'm still not very good with this. Yes, on your screens. All right, so as you can see, there are so many of these services. Let's take a closer look for about some of these categories. There's compute. As you can see, there's networking. What else we can see here? Storage. We can also see mobile databases. We can see intelligence, analytics, IoT. Oh, look, I see developer services. Isn't that interesting? So Devops, AI, big data. There's so much there. Oh my God. I mean, Sashrika, what are you here trying to scare me here? So they're covered here in this massive chart, right? And now don't be overwhelmed when you look at this. That's what I'm here for. Remember, I'm here to save you from this hassle, to help you make sense of this chart and, to define what is right for you. You're scared easily, very easily, I must tell you. Now, on to our journey of exploration and memes. If you don't already know me yet, there'll be a lot of memes in my presentation. I try to tone it down a bit, but I mean, let's face it, that's literally not my style. So, ready for the coolest part of this talk, friends? I know we've covered a lot yet in the last half hour, but now we're on to some interesting bits and we're going to pick up pace here. I know I am excited, as you can already see that. Let me know in the comments if you were too. And at the end of this, we will also talk, I'm pretty sure you'll be a pro of this chart, if nothing else. Cool. Awesome. I can see that a lot of you are already excited. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's quickly jump and dive right into it. Awesome. Now, quick disclaimer, as I mentioned, as soon as I try to tell you about a service, and you don't have to know about all the services, just find the ones that are interesting to you. And if you find that one, make sure you explore side by side a little bit about it. I'm going to be talking about it. And if you want me to go slower, just mention that in the comment section. All good. I'm here for you. But just make sure that you have all of those services written down. If you don't want to research side by side, just note them down, write it away, and then research later. All of these services have some amazing capabilities, and they are here for you to help you with your hack. And I'm going to tell you how. All right. So coming up, let us start with compute. Why not? So, all right, starting up with compute. Compute services are absolutely amazing, and Azure provides a range of options for hosting applications and services. There is so much you can do and achieve. Now, let's see what all we have here, right? We have, I'll give you a little overview. I'm not going to go deep into it. As I mentioned, if you see something that's interesting to you, friends, Google it, or I mean, I will still want my job, so kind of Bing it, maybe. All right. So Azure virtual machines. Let's talk about that. Virtual machines. There would be virtual machines for Windows, Linux, if you want, and these are hosted on Azure. So it's easy for you to just get started and working in minutes. So if you that is something that is interesting to you, go check it out. There are also scale sets, which right now might not be interesting for you, considering for a hack. But if you want to scale those applications and build a great server, you also have that option. There's also Azure Kubernetes service. Now, Kubernetes is a topic in its own, right? There's abundant, like many resources out there if you want to talk about cluster management, containers, VMs, and everything. And it's an important aspect for cloud computing. So if cloud computing interests you, go check out the Azure Kubernetes service and learn more about cluster management, which is basically your VMs that run containerized services, so that those services are you just you're using just the services, and the compute power is divided amongst those three. You can find out more about this. I'm not going to cover that entirely in this presentation because it'll take the rest of the workshop, but yeah, another thing to look at. Now, you can also look at Azure Service Fabric, which is distributed system platform, or if you want, you can look for managed parallel services if you want to run. Let's say you want to run a high computing services, but you want your application to be faster. This is your Azure Batch. There's also Azure Container Instances. If you learn about Kubernetes, learn about containers, and then you'll see what containerized apps mean. You can run those containerized apps on Azure without provisioning servers or VMs. Now, let's talk about my favorite service among this, which is Azure Function. It's an event-driven serverless compute service. Now, what does that mean? If you have certain services you want to run, if you have certain tasks you want to be done, and you want to drive it forward, Azure Functions is a great way to, just use that capabilities in the platform to actually build those services for yourself. Check that out. Learn more about these services. It's like a little sidetrack from this workshop, but here's a brief overview about the main ones that you can see. Yes, Bing it. That is the new phrase. You got it right there. Bing it. All right. Cool. I mean, MS is living on the edge. That is the greatest pun of all time. MS is living on the edge. But honestly speaking, like, don't you think, not that just only because I'm from Microsoft, but don't you think that Edge saves you up on that RAM and everything, so it's a little bit faster? I just feel it's a little bit faster. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. And meanwhile, I will move on with this workshop because I need to tell you on all the amazing parts that I have planned for you. So this is the important part. Now, I gave you a brief about 5 or 6 services, right? I just happened to throw a bunch of words there, and I told you to check out them and give you a brief about what that is, like in a very slidey and mysterious fashion. So if you're interested, wait till I tell you about the student perks. Yes, of course. I told you that some of these, I told you there's a lot more that you can get for free, and a lot more that can help you to get started. And yes, that's right. As a student, you get to do more than anyone else, friends. So let's see and have a look at what are those compute services that are available as your student perks, right? So here you go. First up, let us see quickly here what do we have. Now, I'm rack air at the comment section to see your excitement. I can already see that you are laughing at the Edge joke. Good one, right? All right, so let's talk about the student perks. First up, we have Azure App Service. Now, this is an interesting bit. You can quickly create your powerful apps right up on the platform, right? If you want to use Node.js, PHP, any other framework of your choice, check these out. You have an option to compute 10 web, mobile, or API apps with 1 GB storage, and that is a lot. If you want to create so many projects, just use App Service and it'll be easier for you. There's also Kubernetes service, which we mentioned. Now, Kubernetes, again, if you don't know about it, I suggest you read up on it, but there's basically help you deploy and manage your containers on the tools that you use, and it's free. So who loves free stuff here? Cool. Azure Batch has also helped you to scale up your applications, as I mentioned, and this is also free for you. There's Azure Functions, my favorite one. You can do up to 1 million requests per month, and that is incredible. If you want to just get your hands started with Azure Functions, there's where you can get all of those student perks right in. And isn't this interesting? I mean, there's so much free stuff that I didn't know about when I was hacking. I just hope that somebody told me about them so that I knew and get started with it. Cool. Now, Linux virtual machines. Oh, I see that you already had a session on containers. Awesome. Friends, if you already had a session on containers on Hack This Fall, just go ahead and check out Hack This Fall's YouTube channel. You'll find all the resources you need for your next great hack. So Linux virtual machines, 750 hours, create Linux virtual machines on demand. And if you want Windows, there's also that option. You can put on as many virtual machines, but make sure that you are like, I mean, you don't have to make sure. I should always remind you if you go exceed that. I'm not sure if you will, but yeah, that is still a possibility if you just get like super excited. Interesting, ain't it? Let me know if there's one that you would want to use in your application or simply would want to know more about. What's your favorite one amongst this chart? If not, like if this is not what you're interested in, stick with me, friends. Stick with me. I mean, don't throw stones at me just yet. I've got tons of stuff here for you. So if this is not something that you're interested in, just stick with me at the end and I'll promise there's something for everyone. Now, I feel like Santa Claus making the statement. I mean, woof, I don't know. What am I doing here? It's Christmas early. Whatever. Anywho, moving on to developer services. So if you're here to learn about a bunch of development services that you love and you want to use, and you might not be familiar with most of, like, if you might not be familiar with all of it, but look at the developer services that are here. You might be familiar with most of them. There's Virtual Studio, Mobile Engagement, Xamarin, App Insight, and so many more of these services. Wow. Now, let me show you the perks. Ready, everyone? Still there? Or where'd you go? I can't see the chat room brimming right now with, excitement. Awesome. Developer services. Cool. I mean, I thought this was much more exciting bit because considering you all are what? Developers, hopefully, designers. Interesting bits coming up. Ready? Cool. Let us see. These are some of the Azure perks, and as you can see, most of them are free for you to use. There's Visual Studio, and which will help you boost your productivity and develop powerful applications for your cloud deployment. So, in easier words, it's a code editor that you can use, a very powerful one to develop your applications. If you're not familiar with that, go download. I mean, if there's nothing that you take from this workshop, go download Virtual Studio and use that for your next application. You'll find it so easier using IntelliSense and everything. Awesome. Yes, and there's also Azure Devops. If DevOps is something that you want to learn this weekend, just don't worry. Check out Azure Devops. The ADO tool is interesting. Any DevOps related services you can use, ADO will sync up to 5 Git repos to check, and it's easier for you to check out and try this tool. It's very simple to set up ADO. I use that every day in my workplace. So if you want to be familiar with that, please check that out. Now, there's also Dev Test Labs. As I mentioned, it is free. Yep. Dev Test Labs basically helps you test your application in different environments. It's difficult to test your applications, right? And Azure makes that easy for you. You just deploy that application on Azure and then test it out. There's also SQL Server Developer Edition. Again, databases. I'm going to cover more about that in just a bit. So although there is more, so stay tuned for that. But here it is. You can build, test, and demonstrate all of these applications in a non-production environment. So it's free, and you can check that out. Recently started using Azure DevOps. Anushka, tell us about your experiences in the comment section. Of course, I'm sure everyone would love to know what it looks like. Visual Studio Code, free. Yes, excited. So many student work. Super excited to use. Glad to see it. But there is more. I told you, don't worry. There is absolutely more for you. So did you find something cool? Everyone, did you find it something cool here? I mean, tell me if you find a service cool and put that in the comment section right now. And if not, I mean, oh God, you're so demanding, but don't worry. As I said, I have something for everyone. And coming up right next, drum rolls, please. We have networking services. There's also a networking tab at the beginning of the entire chart that you saw, right? So there are a lot of networking services. Now, when I took DO workshops back, when I was hosting local host workshops, I loved that hackers were super interested in learning more at a hackathon. Doesn't matter if they wanted to use that in their projects or not. They were there that weekend to learn about a new service and upskill themselves. So if you find anything interesting, even if it's not something you want to use, learn more about it, cool, like learn more about it, right? It's all right. It's cool. So, I mean, I just don't want you to just focus, like look in the long haul here. Just focus on your hack. That is absolutely important. We are all here to win the hackathon. I mean, That is part of it. The prices, right? And ain't it exciting? But yeah, you can obviously learn more while doing so. So if networking services is something that interests you, sure to be sure to check that out. And that's the side tip, or let's say story time that we were just in, whatever you want to call that. I'll leave that up to you. But coming back to networking tools, basically linking your compute resources and then providing access to applications, right? You link all of those compute services that you were just using and then providing those that access to the application is one of the key bits of Azure networking, right? So in this functionality, there's a range of options that can help you connect to the outside world of services. So if there's a different service that you use and some of the features that you want to use in Azure data centers, they're here for you. You can learn more about Azure virtual networks. You can connect VMs from another private network and then connect them to your own network. You can use load balancers, which is balancing of inbound and outbound connections. If you don't know what load balancer is, check that out. It's really interesting. Or we also have a DigitalOcean workshop if you want to check that out to learn more about it. But yeah, virtual networks is again, as I mentioned, it's load balancers is again a great way to balance your application so that it doesn't receive an outage. I think one of some of the folks asked a couple of questions at the beginning of this presentation about how the service doesn't go down. I mean, you might want to check that out. I think Microsoft Learning is a good place to start. Favorite one is Azure AI Services, GitHub integration, VS Code. Love to see your comments. I absolutely love them. Microsoft is love. Absolutely. I also love Microsoft. We're there. High five. Awesome. So as we were talking about application gateway, you can optimize app server farm delivery, which means while increasing your application security, you can keep your applications at bay and safe and secure. There's also VPN gateway, similarly, which you can use. There's DNS, which is again like ultra fast DNS responses and high domain availability, so your website is never down. And then there is DDoS protection, content delivery network. DDoS protection is against denial of service attacks. So for example, let's say somebody attacked your application, right? And then your server went down. We want you to be able to protect that, right? So Azure provides that DDoS protection as well. Good thinking, and you might want to check all of these out. So as I was mentioning, there's so many. I'll not be able to cover all of them, but I'll just give you a brief. There's Traffic Manager, which basically distributes your network traffic. Express Route, which connects you to high bandwidth sources. And then there's Network Watcher, which basically helps you monitor and diagnose what's wrong with your tool. If you just wrote a code, added, there's a bug in your code and everything went crashing down, it'll help you manage that and manage the network responses that you have for your application. There's also Firewall and other great services. Networking was huge. But wait, what does it mean for us? I mean, as students, what can we do? What can we use, right? So let's talk about that. Everyone, student perks, excited. I can already see the good vibes in the comment section. Love to see it. And great. Let's talk about student perks, right? So there's VPN gateway, as I just mentioned. You get up to 750 hours of it. So if you just want to play around and see how all of this works, and if you want to, build a career in security, this would be a great place to start. You would have experience on this, and you would have resources there to just get started and get your hands dirty, like while working on those projects. So hackathons is not just about building your hacks; it's about building skill sets. And if you just want to form groups within, like, let's say you have a team for building your own project, but you also have like a separate team or in the same team who wants to learn a new skill set at each hackathon. Just think about it. If you participate in for a month, let's say 4 weeks, you would have 4 projects and you would have 4 different skill sets learned. So isn't that amazing? That's all you need. 1 month of sheer dedication and you will know how to use some of the basic developer services. So load balancer, 750 hours, 15 GB processing, and then 5 rules. This will help you deliver high availability. I gave you a brief about load balancers, but I would love for you to, deep dive and check more about into it. There's also bandwidth, Azure virtual networks, and internet services. I mean, you can see that there are like services and everything there, and it's all up on the screen. So if any of these, I already talked about these in detail, and I have so much more to cover. So I'm just going to move on to the next slide so that I can give you all something for your hacks as well. But if any of these are interesting to you and you don't want to use them in your hacks, but simply want to learn more about, feel free to check those out. Cool? Awesome. Moving on. Now we have the fun bits, something relevant to your projects. If your goal was to find tools for your hack, and you haven't found anything interesting yet with the compute, networking, and other services that I mentioned, here's the rabbit I pull out from my magic hat. This is the application platform services. There is web. Let's start with that first. So having a great web experience is very important in today's world, right? So if you have a web development experiences, and Twitter is also buzzing with this, and you might have heard this, it actually helps you in your developer jobs. I mean, it's all about that, right? Azure provides you with that support to host web applications and HTTP based web services. So what you can use is you can use app service. I can't stress enough about how app service is important. I think I already mentioned that service thrice in this workshop. Now, it's a powerful cloud-based web application. There's also Notification Hub if you want to send out like push notifications from the backend. There's API management if you want to publish all your APIs in one platform and then use those to develop your applications and publish those APIs for developers, partners, stakeholders, everyone. Like everyone can see that at securely and at scales. So yes, that is super interesting. There's also cognitive search, which means that deploy this fully managed search as a service. So there is so much to explore here. You can use that search as a service in your application, and that isn't that amazing. So I highly recommend you look into the Azure cognitive search if that is something you want in your application. Really cool stuff. There's also web apps, which is a feature of Azure app service, as you can see. Now, in that, again, you can create and deploy some mission critical web apps, and you can scale them as much as you want. So there's so much you can do. And it's not just, you just have to start your project for a hack. You can scale it up a bit. So it provides you all those facilities and capabilities. Cool. Interesting. Right. So we have Anushka who created a WordPress website using Azure Service. Great going. I love to see that. Awesome. Cool. Let's see. We have so much more to cover. Okay. Now, I was talking about web apps. Let's talk about, there's also, where was that? Okay, yeah, I was at mobile, right? Next up, we have mobile apps as well. Let's see what we have for mobile apps. In Azure, you have developers who can create backend services for your mobile apps for iOS, Android, Windows, whatever applications you're using. So if they are desktop apps, mobile apps, you can add those services quickly and easily. It's a very seamless process. So these features usually used to take time, and basically increase your project risk because then you're using third-party applications and stuff, which you might not be very familiar with. Azure has that documentation and the security services that I just told you about. So adding all of those in and adding a corporate sign-in would actually help you with these applications. So if you have a one-stop sign-in as well, it'll quickly help you create those backend services for your application. There's offline data synchronization provided by Azure. There is connectivity, push notifications, auto scaling, and fun fact, everyone, I won't show you a slide for this, but a quick side fun fact for everyone. If you sign up for Azure Notification Hub, you get 1 million push notifications with free namespace. So you have got to get on this. If your application has notification, use Notification Hub and get 1 million push notifications for free. Ooh, getting ideas for mobile apps. Nice. Interesting. You can auto scale and match it according to your needs, and you can scale down whatever you want to talk. I can go into specific student perks, but I'll talk about I have to cover a little more applications, so I'm going to cover that and then just go on the entire student perks all at once so that it's like a full-on blast for you, right? So for now, I highlighted Notification Hub on the sidelines, but yeah, you might want to check that out. Cool. Okay, let us see what next we have here. Storage. Who doesn't love a good backend service or a database service for their application, right? Along with their application for platforms, Azure provides broadly, I'll say broadly because there are a lot many more, broadly 4 types of storage services, and you can store your data in any of these following formats. So there's blob, queues, files, disk. Blob is basically large video files, bitmaps, and all of that storage stuff. You can encode that and store it in blob. File storage is again like a file server. It's the same like a file server. It can be managed that way. So you can share all those files and store it using Azure Storage. There's also Azure Table Storage. Let's say you want a table service and you want a non-relational structured data and NoSQL DB you want for your application in the cloud. It'll provide you a key attribute sort of schema-less design, and it's something that you might want to look at. Yes, you're absolutely right, Raj. 1 million push notification. Ain't that cool? All right, so yeah, there's also queue storage. Now, this might be new for you, but believe me, it's not. Queue is like a data store for queuing. That's very simple. It'll deliver messages between applications and queue them back one by one. So you might want to check that out as well. Now, all of these services, several common features with their differences, of course. The differences, as I just mentioned, but services that are common, they're durable, highly available, and they can be they can build at scale, so you can just expand them according to the services that you need. There's also options to scale them, and they're secured by automation encryption. They're also managed for you, so you don't have to worry about management. The great part about cloud services, Microsoft manages it for you, so you don't have to think about data centers and services. You only have to pay for the services you use, and in your case, since you're students, you get something for free, ain't it? So we'll walk into that. And also, just a quick another perk, they're accessible from anywhere in the world. So if you're just, let's say, sipping coffee in Milan or in one of the other places, whatever, let's say Australia, if you want to work from there, it's all good. You can access them from anywhere. So build as you go. Now, what are the student perks, you ask? Interesting. I know you're a lot demanding. I know that from the beginning. So here you go. Good question. Again, quick disclaimer. As I cover more and more perks, it would be difficult to keep up. So if you want to deep dive into something, note down the ones that are absolutely important for you. You can always look beyond this and, come back here for this workshop to see what's there for you. But if you want to deep dive into something, we're talking about services here. We're chatting about different ideas with the comment section. As you can see, a lot of folks are there who have already used Azure and built amazing services and tools with them. So if that is what you're interested in, your role is to see how we can use them in your project. So that is something I'll give you the ideation perspective. And if you want to chat about it, the Discord server is always open. The chat room is always open. Just put the message in and let us know how we can help you more. But yes, as I cover more and more services, there's a lot more you will discover. So just note down the ones that are absolutely interesting to you, even if it's just something you want to learn in future, right? All right. So as I mentioned, there's blob storage. You get 5 GB of that. You can massively scale your projects on, an unstructured, NoSQL type of database. Basically, this was for video maps. Actually, this was not NoSQL. Sorry. Yeah, video maps or videos or bitmaps or stuff like that. Basically, it stores your encoded images and videos in the blob storage. There's also file storage. Again, file sort of structure, 5 GB worth of storage. There's also managed disks, which are 64 GB into two, basically your SSD drives. You can use that. Again, it's very simple. All you need to do is access these storage and then get started. You get high performance storages on these virtual machines, and it's all good. It's all easy and very simple to set up. All the docs are available online. I'll also share a link for the resources at the end, so you'll be started in no time. There's also archive storage. So let's say you want to store some of these data, which is like rarely accessed. You don't access it much, but you want them to be stored for future use, because even if it's not accessed much in your application, it's accessed once in a while. You can use archive storage. That will save you a lot of space on your own main storage, and then you can use this 10 GB worth of storage as a part of your student perks. Amazing, right? I know, so cool. So moving on, let's talk about databases. What? You thought that was it? Huh. I tell you, I have something for everyone, and this even doesn't even cover half of it. What? So we still got databases to cover. Azure provides you multiple database services to store wide variety of data types, right? There's so many types of data, and I mean, so many type of data, and I'm not even sure I could cover half of it right now, but there's so many types, and you know massive amounts, massive volumes of data. So with this global connectivity with Azure that it offers, you can connect your data and make it available for your users, or add that in your hack, and just not think about scalability much, but just think about the way you want to implement that. There's a right way of using things, right? So here with Azure, you will learn the right way to make applications more generic, so that it's scalable if you plan to scale it in the future. If somebody sees your code, there's a difference in writing good code, bad code, and using services the right way. It's easier if when you're starting an application, you use services that would help you scale up in the future, or if you just pass on your project to, let's say, someone else, it's easier for them to understand your code, right? That's what makes you a good developer. So you might want to, learn the right techniques and tricks in order to get that. Cool. Databases. Yes, let's work right into this. As you can see, there are so many oops. As you can see. Nope, wrong. Yeah. As you can see, there are so many up on your screen and so many more that you can look into. But for now, let's cover these. Azure Cosmos DB. I'm not sure if you see that here, but yes, it is there. This is a globally distributed database. If you want to explore some of the NoSQL options, if you are interested in SQL, I mean, there's also SQL database as well. But if you're interested in NoSQL options, there's Cosmos DB. It's not mentioned here, but I'm going to give you a quick tip that it also is included as a service for you. So might want to check that out. There's also Azure SQL database or MySQL database. So these are fully managed relational database. All right. So if you know about SQL, it would be easier for you to understand. If not, SQL is a great skill to have. It's relational databases that you can learn about in different table formats, and then you can like connect or merge all of those tables and do a lot of stuff there. There's also the concept of normalization. Now, I'm not gonna make this like turn this into a computer science lecture here. Just go ahead, check all of those out. I'm just gonna put all of those terms out there. The great way to be a developer is to actually know how to Google. Oops, no, how to Bing it. And if that is something that you're interested in, just please make sure you search that and find more resources to learn about it. Cool. Now let's talk about what do we want to know more about? Oh, is Postgresql interesting for you? It's a different, so if you are interested in using Postgres in your service, there's also Azure database for Postgresql. It's also, again, a relational database, highly available and highly secure. You can use that in your applications. You can use your virtual machines if you want to host your SQL on a virtual machine. There's also SQL Server on virtual machines. There is Synapse Analytics. Very interesting, very powerful. It's something that a lot of organizations are using nowadays. It's a fully managed data warehouse with integral security at each level and no extra cost. It's a very powerful tool that helps you monitor, integrate, and create all of those data pipelines. Now, you also have Azure Data Migration Services. If you want to migrate to cloud with no application charges, you can use that. If you already have an application already set and you want to migrate to cloud, this is something you can use. We also have Azure database for Mariadb and Redis cache. You can see Redis cache up here, which is again a fully managed services for like fully managed services that caches frequently and basically stores your data. It reduces that data latency that you're always afraid of, right? I can see that you all love my energy and my confidence, and you are all enjoying the workshop. Great, awesome, love to hear it. I always, you know, I always feel so nice when I hear all of your interesting comments. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, moving on. That was a lot that I covered up until now. But wait, don't you want to hear more about the ones you want to use and the free student perks that I bring to you? Friends, you didn't ask for those amazing perks. I mean, don't you want to know more about it? Isn't this interesting for you? All right, let me see the comment section, refresh it again. Okay, I can see that they're all loving it, and I can see most of those emojis pop in, which I'll take that as a yes. So let's move on to the services. Azure student perks for you. There you go. There are so much, right? Lot of services, lot of data, and lot of perks. So if you're using those databases in your apps this weekend, feel free to check out any of these services. I covered briefly what each of these does. Explore your options. Wait, don't just take my word on it. I mean, who am I? Just someone talking to you about different Azure services? Go and explore your options, friends. You need to make your own choice. There are so many out there, and let's see what those perks are. So we have Azure Cosmos DB, which has 1,000 request units per second. Again, very cool. You can build modern applications with a fast NoSQL database. Interesting option if you want to explore those services in a key to like in that fashion. There's also Azure Data Factory. Again, super powerful, interesting tool. You can all manage all of your data services, anything that you're using at scale in one position. So Data Factory basically stores all of that things together. So you might want to look at these 5 low frequency activities that you see here. Cool. There is also your Azure database from MySQL, right? There's 750 hours, and then Postgresql, and then SQL database. If you want that, if you want to use that, you can create a SQL database that delivers intelligent, and it's already built in. So if you don't want to, so my Azure database for basically helps you use your own MySQL database and then use that service to host that. My SQL database here is something which is built in, so you can use that straight away. Don't worry about anything else. Right? So interesting. Cool. Let us see the next bit. Interested? Everyone? Cool. Let us see ML and IoT. Yes, we are there. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. Let's talk about the important tools for this hackathon. There's ML and IoT. And I'm pretty sure, I am absolutely 99.99% sure that you'll be using some of these services in your applications for this hack. So it's very important to learn or know more about it. Now, you know that people are able to access more information than ever before, right? And with IoT, there's so much more that you can do. Personal digital assistants led to smartphones, and now there are smart watches, smart thermostats, even smart refrigerators. Wow. So personal computers used to be the norm, but now internet allows you to add any item and add an online capability to it. That's what IoT is about. You can access all those valuable informations from any of these devices. There's availability for devices to garner and then relay information using data analysis. So it's like there's so much more that you can do. And it's referred to as Internet of Things. So there's a thing, you add internet to it, boom. Wow, I think I should write more. I do have a good comedy career. I'm just kidding. Cool. So many services that you can use here are available on screen. They can assist you drive your solutions for IoT on Azure, as you can see on screen. There's IoT Central that you see, IoT Hub you can see. You've used Power BI for visually analyzing data. Awesome. Power BI is the most interesting tool. I work with Power BI. It helps you generate massive reports like within seconds, and I love that tool. Absolutely love it. So I was talking about IoT Hub, IoT Central. They'll help you to fully manage your IoT software, and it makes it easy to connect, monitor all of those IoT assets at scale in your application. So IoT Central is a great way to get started. Again, IoT Hub is also there for you, which helps you in messaging. Like it's like a messaging hub. So it helps you provide communications and monitoring between your IoT applications, if that's something you're interested in. One thing that is not mentioned, I think, in this chart is Iot Edge, which is again a fully managed service that allows you to analyze those data models and push directly to your IoT service. So interesting tool. It allows you to quickly react to state changes without needing to consult any AI models that are up out there. So all you got to do is see all of those central IoT Hub and IoT Edge services. These are the three amazing tools that you can use for your applications, for your IoT applications, if that is what you're hoping for. There's so much scope in IoT. I can't even emphasize how much there is. So if that is something you want to learn, please do explore these three options. It will be massive for you. Sashrika, for stand-up, you guys are hilarious. You want me to give up my engineering career and pursue stand-up? A lot of folks are doing that right now, isn't it? Whew. You gave me a future career prospect, friends. Super proud of you. All right, coming back on the ones that we're discussing right now, we'll talk about my stand-up career sometime in Discord, isn't it? Cool. Let us see if big data or any other things that are mentioned up on screen are interesting to you. So if you're interested in big data comes in all formats and sizes, right? So if you just scale up your data, and when we talk about big data, it's definitely large volumes of data, and there's a lot that you can do to make your tasks easier here. This is for your learning purposes. I understand that you won't be using big data in some of your applications for your hacks, but if this is something that you want to learn, there's Azure Synapse, HD Insight, and Databricks as tools. You can explore more of these tools if you're interested to learn more about big data. And I can quote more examples and go on and on and on about big data. I absolutely adore that, those tools that I'm talking about. But if this is something you're interested in, do explore. Big data has amazing opportunities for you as a career in a career prospect as well. And these are some of the tools that would be helpful for you. Cool. Now that we have talked about big data, wait, I didn't talk about ML, did I? We also have AI and ML in the house, friends. AI, again, in context of cloud computing, is based a broad like range of services where the core is machine learning. Machine learning is data science technique that allows computers to use the existing data and forecast future behaviors. It'll make decisions, outcomes, trends, give you an analysis on how things would go further. So it's like, again, very interesting for you to explore. Using ML, computers can learn how to be programmed, and then they can learn from their own the previous decisions, and then make future predictions, forecast predictions, anything. It'll make your apps smarter and devices smarter. Like, for example, like when you shop online, if you're new to ML space, I can definitely tell you a little bit like examples here and there about it if you want to explore further, like just to get you a little excited about ML, since I am. We would be the first one to attend your live stand. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted. 1 minute, I'll come back to ML. Live stand up, just invite us when you do it. Okay, she can do weekly stand up. I can see that me being in the house and my stand up career is absolutely interesting to you all. We might plan something in the future. I mean, are you listening, Siddharth? Folks want a stand up comedy from my side. I don't know if I can do that, but again, they want it. All right, come friends, you distract me too much. I mean, you're demanding and you're distracting. So just let's come back to ML and let's talk about what we have in store for you. I was giving you a few examples, right? So if you don't know what machine learning is, like let's say you want to shop online. Machine learning helps you recommend all of these other products that, like, based on what you've already purchased. So it'll tell you what your likes, what you might like, what you might be interested in buying. So it'll give you recommendations based on your previous purchases. And how it does that, it basically makes decisions based upon those previous purchases, and then connects the dots to some of the different products that you like. Or another example would be, let's say your credit card is swiped. So machine learning compares all of those transactions in this database and helps detect fraud. So if that is something which you might not like, a purchase that you is very different and might not do. So I mean, that is something you can absolutely check out and see if ML is something that you can check out and see that it could help you detect fraud if that is something you're working on. Fraud detection, again, very interesting topic. I'm giving you hackathon ideas here if you are interested, friends. But yes, please, who am I to tell you what to do? Okay, when your robot vacuum cleaner vacuums a room, let's say we are working on that. Machine learning also helps them decide whether the job is done, and you can use that all of these services to make that happen. Now, isn't these interesting ideas that you can see? Yes, this is great. Okay, what's happening? I think I missed the chat room for something. Stand-up comedy is needed. I love this because you don't have to make models from scratch. Absolutely, yes, Emil, you don't have to make models from scratch. You can use their predefined models as well. Can do in our HTF Connect, which happens every Wednesday. Interesting. I'll join that sometime. An impromptu thing. Great idea. Sure, we will all attend it. You guys are hilarious. I think you also have a standard career like me, but don't. I mean, I'll compete with you if that happens. Don't take a standard career. I'm gonna take that one based upon your idea. Cool. All right, let us see what you can do here. Again, coming back to ML, friends. Whew, you distract quite a lot. And then you want more services? What is wrong with you? All right, let's see what we have here for ML Studio. I'm super excited to bring this part to you because there is so much more than what you already did. So I told you about so many services, right? There is still a lot more that you're going to see here. And this is a very interesting part to be in. And so let's concentrate, everyone. We're talking about ML. What you can do here is you can use Azure Machine Learning Service. Someone mentioned that you can use those tools and you can use all of those trained data sets and you don't have to do all of those things on your own. Absolutely right. Machine learning service is a cloud-based environment. You can develop, train, test, deploy, manage, track your machine learning models. It will auto-generate a model for you, auto-tune it for you. So it will start on training it on your local machine and scale it on the cloud. So you don't have to worry about all of those things where you don't know how to make it work. There are resources, tools, and it make it easier for you. So machine learning service is a very powerful tool that you might want to check out. Which brings me to Azure ML Studio. This is a visual workplace. I understand that some of the folks don't find machine learning interesting because it's not visual enough for them. They don't know how it builds, tests, starts. They don't know what's working behind the scenes. So if you want to build, test, deploy your ML module solutions, you can use this ML Studio to add that, and then you add those data handling modules and then see visually what's happening, how it is happening. Absolutely incredible and amazing. This brings you so many services, and it's closely related to the cognitive services that we were talking about. There are pre-built APIs for most of the basic ML functions. Like, there are already complex problems out there. There are pre-built APIs that you can use in your application. So all you need to do is connect your application to those APIs and get cracking. Interesting, everyone? Still with me? Awesome. Let's talk about some of these services that I just told you about. Cool. So Vision, again, very important one. You can use image processing algorithms to smartly identify and caption, index, and moderate your pictures and videos. So Vision is an image processing algorithm service that you can use if you want to work with image segmentation, detection. Vision is your best friend, hands down. It's an amazing tool, incredible one. Right. There's also speech. So let's say you want an application that does like converts your audio to text, use your voice for verification, add speaker recognition, all of those interesting ideas, just putting them out there. Whatever interests you, write it down. I mean, this is important. And all of these is something that adds recognition to your application. There's also knowledge mapping, which is mapping those complex information and data to solve tasks, which give you, recommendations, semantic search, and all of that shazazz. If you want to go deep dive into AI and knowledge mapping, great tool to get started with. Amazing, interesting. Are my slides stuck? No, my slides are not stuck. I'm just talking about all of these tools that are up here. So I'm talking about as I go. This is basically me deep diving about some ML stuff. But yes, I'm going to cover all of these in the next slide. So if you don't see it right here, it'll come up. Just wait. I'll talk about the student perks, Prathamesh, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Also, we were talking about Bing search. Right now, I'm actually discussing about the events in ML that you have. So it's not stuck. But again, I'm just giving you a brief what is not present on the screen, but actually is a service that you can use for your apps. Yes, you need to know the perks. I'll tell you about them. Give me just 1 second to get right on it. All right. So, yeah, Bing search. Again, as we mentioned, you got to Bing it. Add Bing search APIs to your apps and harness the ability to comb billions and billions of web pages, images, videos, news with a single API call. So with one API call, you can add Bing search APIs to your application and then use it. I mean, it's very easy. It's that easy to connect. You can find the resources online and then you can use all those. There's also natural language processing. Again, another interesting tool. It'll allow your apps to process natural languages, build scripts, evaluate all of those sentiments, and then give you an analyze. It'll recognize what your users want, how they're using your application, what they need, etc., etc. Wow. Don't lie. Must be many things that you found interesting here, right? I covered so much. Yeah, like mention that in the comment section. Which of these services I mentioned was your favorite one? The best one that you liked. Now, I knew it. You love it. You were talking about the perks here. So I know for a fact that you absolutely love all those services. I knew it. I did it. And I'm also excited to share with you what the student perks are. And are you ready? I mean, comment section. Which service is the most interesting to you? Mention that in the comment section and I'll cover the perks. I'll again ask at the end to help you pick one, but I'm going to cover all of these in the next slide. Wow. Starting up with IoT Hub, 8,000 messages per day. You can connect, monitor, and manage billions of IoT assets. So there's no limit whatsoever, but there's limit on the messages you share per day, which is 8,000. And I think that is too much for you to just use for development purposes if you're doing that, right? If you want to build that on scale, you can absolutely check out the services and the payment subscription models that we have. But then again, Microsoft IoT Hub give you 8,000 messages per day. Absolutely stunning. There's also machine learning. Remember, we talked about how there are modules that you can use, develop, and then just scale. So yes, develop, run our Python modules on your platform of your choice. There are 100 modules and 1 hour experiment with 10 GB storage. Too much for you to use, too little time to use them all. Okay, coming back, I can see a lot of you found machine learning interesting. Compute services for the go, application and compute service, ML and IoT. Awesome. Okay, Pat says, is it only me that when Sashrika explains it's simple, but when we learn these concepts, they feel tough? It's not tough at all. I mean, I'm trying to explain to you in the most simple way possible. So if you're confused anywhere, just pause it down, ask me, and I'm glad that my way of teaching helps you learn more. Absolutely interesting. 30,000 transactions for face looking forward to use it. Go for it, my friend, go for it. Now, we were talking about face. Again, your favorite, as I said, vision, face, all of these are interesting APIs that you can use. There are 30,000 transactions to detect and identify people, emotions in those images, and then bring to your application. So as I mentioned, all of these services, you can use as many or as little as you want. But then again, you can use all of these services to make add that awesome touch to your application. And as I said, there's something enough for everyone, right? So you will all be able to make awesome projects this weekend. There are text analytics, which is 5,000 text records. You can extract information such as sentiment, key phrases, entitlements, language, anything that you have from your text, and then analyze those texts to see what those sentiments look like. Sentiment analysis never was easier. So interesting. Awesome. IoT and cloud, love it. Love to see it. There is more. Wait, what? Yes, you are right. We also have Anomaly Detector, which has 20,000 transactions. Remember, I told you that we can also detect fraud anomalies in data to quickly identify and troubleshoot issues. There is a tool and service that you can use to bring that to life, right? So there's Anomaly Detector, which you can use for 20,000 transactions. And if that is a if that fraud detection is something you're working on, this is a great tool that would be helpful. Awesome. Next up, we have Form Recognizer, 500 pages. Automate the extraction of key and key value pairs, tables, documents. So if there's some text you want to extract and automate that extraction from a Form Recognizer does that for you. It's a great automation tool if you want to use that. And with that being said, we are here with Computer Vision, my favorite API, 5,000 transactions. You can extract rich information from images and characterize into visual data. So the difference between face and a vision is that face gives you all of that data. Vision also categorizes and processes that so that you can view it visually. And even though I am a developer and I love to see all the other, I love to use ML and everything. I love that side of things. I really want to make it a little more visually appealing in the sense that, okay, I want to see how that data works in terms of charts and everything. So vision helps you do that. Upscale, awesome. That is great. Cool. uh, Awesome. Let me see if I missed something in the comment section. Okay, favorite vision, computer vision API is your favorite API? Yes, me too, my friend. All right, we also have Personalizer, which, for example, you want to create personal experiences for your user. You want to define that. You can use ML to create those personal experiences, and Personalizer, again, interesting tool that you can use for your service. 50,000 transactions is enough for you to get started, so just try and check it out if there's something interesting to you. There's so many things that are interesting. And for me, ML and IoT is my favorite section of this entire presentation. Content moderator, again, 10,000 transactions. You can moderate those text images and provide a safer and more positive user experience, which means that you can moderate what is happening. Let's say you're building a social media app. Content moderation, important tool to see everything is in place. Nobody is actually putting out something which shouldn't be there, right? Interesting tool that you can use. Custom vision, again, you can customize those computer vision models in those vision service and use for your unique use case. So custom vision is again an extension of the previous services that we told you about. Yes, you might want to try custom vision. Didn't know you existed. Absolutely incredible. Raj says it's like his favorite APIs are computer vision and custom vision. So you might want to check it out. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to reach out to me or Raj, and we'll be happy to look at them for you. Now, yes, you're right. We have so many services and so many interesting tools. And trust me, these services are more than enough for development purposes. There's so many things that you can achieve. So do explore the ones that are absolutely interesting for you. And yes, that is super amazing. So we covered a lot, didn't we? Do you have your favorite service yet? I can see that there were a lot of folks who mentioned that, but I know that a lot of you are still watching and have not commented even once. Talk to me. I'm not that bad. Just mention your favorite services. Sit in, and if not, I know, again, demanding folks in this side of the aisle. So if these are not your favorite services, I have more. That's right. There is Translator. 20 lakh characters. You can add real-time multiple language text translation into your apps. And, you can use this Translator API if you want your application to be multilingual. Interesting bit to add for your hacks. Might give you an edge over others. Something to think about. Machine learning. Again, this is a free workspace, so it's different from the different tools that we talked about earlier. Here, you can only pay for the service you use. And if you want to create your own machine learning workspace, it's free for you to use a workspace for you to try out, customize your own models and train them. There's also Azure Cognitive Search Services. Again, I mentioned these before. Remember when I was talking about binging it? So there's 50 MB of storage for 10,000 hosted documents. You can include a cloud service search in your web and mobile application. You can use those Bing search in your application and then get started. Language barrier is real, absolutely. And if you can use this translator to create something awesome, go ahead and do it. There's also language understanding, 10,000 text request transactions, build natural language understanding into apps, bots, IoT services. There's also Q&A maker. And quick tip, I used the Q&A maker to build my chatbot and won my first hackathon. It was super easy and super interesting to use and get started with. It gives you 3 days worth of like using it. So you can create a conversational bot and then get a Q&A bot and then use it from your account. You can add that as a functionality to your application as well. So really interesting, amazing tool that you want to use and expand your application capabilities with. All right, this is a great way to plan your applications further and just get started. Whew, that was so much. I covered so much for you. But we have more. As I mentioned, we're still not over yet. That was so cool. I love the last part as much as everyone. I know that you all love to. I can see all of those comments here. So if you want, I love that particular segment of ML and IoT, and I hope that you've got a lot of ideas based upon that. But I wanted to discuss a few more services for you. If any of these speak out to you, find any of these interesting, I know that last tech was super exciting and you were super thrilled and very excited to use this in Hack This Fall, as Vidhi mentions. So all of these are interesting services that you can try out. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here's the bonus for you. Bonus services. Interesting, right? I think, let me see. Yeah, sorry. So I honestly thought that was it. Nope. We have some more bonus services for you, bonus exciting points. If you want to explore more, a lot of you want to figure out if security is your niche or you want to discuss more about media or integration, Azure is to your rescue. Let's find about these services and our perks as well. If you find something interesting now is the time. I'll give you like 30 seconds to jot all of this down. The ones that I already mentioned. I'll talk about these later. And meanwhile, I look into the chat screen to see if I missed a comment. But then again, just try and search more about all of these. And I'm gonna get my voice back. Seems like it's not working for me today. Yes, we have more. Absolutely, Prathamesh. That is not it. Raj mentions that translation is also great. He has used that in a Jarvis project that speaks in Hindi. Way to go, way to go. Love that. Really, I see some of these really interesting ideas in the comment section and something that you can definitely use if you want. All right, that is up. I give you a little less than 30 seconds, but I think that was more than enough for you to jot all that down and think about the different ideas that you wanted to know. If there is an idea that you would like to point it out or create a team, now is the time. Put that in the comment section and ask that, hey, I have this idea. I want to use this Azure service. Would you like to form a team with me? And there you go. You have a member right from the comment section. That's how you build a community, friends. And that's what we are here to do. Lovely. All right. So cool. Let us explore security, media, and integration. Azure, as I said, is to your rescue. Let's find about these services and our perks too. Lovely. Cool. Let us talk about these services. So you can see some of these services, but then I'm going to talk about the student perks as well. There are security services, which you can use, media, integration. For this, I'm going to jump right into the perks and then talk about these services as I talk about the perks. Sounds good, everyone? Awesome. Let's get into it. So starting with Azure Event Grid, integrate it and you have reliable event delivery. So any of the events that you want to do, any of the services that you want to integrate, like let's say you want to perform a certain function, Event Grid helps you do that. So it gives you 1 lakh operations per month, which is super cool. Again, if you miss, oops, my camera is not focusing. Hi, I'm back. Right. If you miss some of these services, you can obviously go back in the YouTube live, check out the services that you want to use and see what is there for you. I'll share resources and links at the end as well for you to know, but just bear with me while I talk about the perks, right? So there's Service Bus, 750 hours, 13 million requests. What Service Bus does is it'll help you do get reliable cloud messaging as a service. Messaging as a service is coming up right now. It's a simple hybrid integration you can use. Service Bus is a great tool to explore. Active Directory. Now you want to enable one-click sign-in to any cloud or a web app, right? You want to provide that functionality to users. Active Identity helps you achieve that. Pretty simple. There are also 5 lakh objects. So let's say up to 5 lakh users, you can do that for free. That's one of the student perks. So keep building and keep cracking. There's also Key Vault. There is 10,000 transactions. Now, Key Vault is an interesting tool. Let's say you want there are security keys and secrets in your application when you publish them to the App Store or host your website and all that stuff. Key Vault is a great tool. There are 10,000 transactions available. You can secure that in a key to value format. Very simple. It will safeguard and maintain control. And Azure has all of those security just bits in place. So it's all easy for you to just, work with it. Cool, awesome. I can see all of you love all of these services, don't you? But we have more. We have Azure Logic Apps. Remember we talked about them? Remember how I told you how Logic Apps is absolutely incredible for your functions? If you want built-in actions, there are 44,000 built-in actions available for you. Just automated integrations. You don't have to do anything, just integrate into your solution. There are tons of use cases here that you can explore. I'm not going to cover those use cases because those are ideas I want you to look into. But Logic Apps has already all of those services inbuilt. Just use those integrations and get started. Security Center, again, free policy assessments if you have security vulnerabilities. This might be better suited for you if you want to just release your application after you're done. But yes, you can use that. And media services encoding. This is absolutely new and absolutely incredible, highly in demand. You can use these media encodings. You have 20 output minutes. So you can encode your videos and audio source files and then index, package, protect them, and stream video and audio at scale. So there's so much you can achieve with media services. And I can't wait to see what you do with all of these services. Awesome. I'm excited. You are too. I hope you loved all of those, like this entire journey of services and memes. And I know that there are a lot more. I told you there are hundreds of services. I covered the main ones that would be absolutely perfect and relevant for you. So if this is something that any of these services are something that you're interested in, be sure to check them out. And as we mentioned, this is something which is specifically for Hack the Fall and the community we have here. Big Get Friends, if that is something you're interested in, that's the new search thing we're doing here now. Awesome! I am super excited. I hope you are too. Get that comment section brimming with all those exciting emojis and your comments. I would love to read them out. Let me see if you have any questions as well. Oh my God, we covered a lot. Now, do you believe me when I say it feels like Christmas and I'm your Santa? I mean, I brought you so many services for your hacks, right? Let me share where you can find more about all of these services and register about these too. That's the most important part, of course. But as I mentioned, there are so much things I did for you. So again, if some of these services you found interesting or some of these services you're excited about, do make a tweet, share it with everyone, ask everyone to join ask folks to join your team, and then build a project at the end of this event, which is Hack This Fall. Make sure you register for that if you've not already done that yet. All right, ready? I'm going to show you how you can get access to all of this now. Ready? Give me 1 second. Wouldn't want to wouldn't want to love it if you heard me cough, right? So yeah, just for that. All right, I can see all of those lovely comments just cracking in. I never knew there were so many Azure services, right? This is so cool. Awesome. Cool. Yes, you can obviously know more about these services and interesting bits. Let me share with you how to do that. This is the link. I'm going to share that link in the comment section as well. This has resources, getting started material, tutorials, docs, and other things as well. I'm not sure if I can share that in the comment section with you. I'm just going to share it, and I would love if Siddharth can share it with you in the comment section. Awesome. Siddharth or anyone from the Hack This Fall team, can you share that link, please? Cool. Yes, I can take an SS and I will post for you at the end. Don't worry. We'll do that. We'll do all of those pictures at the end. But for now, let's focus on this, right? So you can know more about these Azure services. There's tutorial, docs, registration link, more services. Check that out. And the link is already there in the comment section. Check this out. Register with your student ID. Get access to all of these services that I'm talking about. Explore the ones that are interesting for you. Don't get overwhelmed by so many. And just, take your pick. Go one at a time. It's all there. It'll be there for you even after a month. So just make use of the ones that you are finding the interesting most now. And also prepare for your hacks. Best of luck for that one. Awesome. Now I know that I answered most of your connect like questions already, but I'm ready to take all of those interesting questions for you. Go ahead, shoot. I can see that most of you are already excited. Petition to change Santa Claus to Sashrika Claus. Interesting. Hi, Siddharth. How are you doing? I can't hear you. You're still on mute.
Whoops, it's normal now. I'm habituated now. I can understand. But
Absolutely, yeah.
wow, what an energy. Thanks a lot, Sashrika. It was indeed wonderful. No, I was like feeling a tired after whole of that event, but now after listening you, I'm like full of energy as of now and can't wait. See the fire emojis in the chat. It's like burning. We
Yeah,
need to bring some water to extinguish all of those things. But let it be. Let that fire come. And thanks a lot for that wonderful, lovely presentation, taking us through every services out there. And I'm super sure that this is going to be a key for every hacker out there while they are building their project during the hackathon. Love that.
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Siddharth. I am so glad to see that the comment section absolutely enjoyed it. I mean, kudos to you, friends. You covered a lot in this entire presentation, and kudos to you, Siddharth, because you were there tired the all day and you're still here for our event. So there's the
No
fire
problem.
spam, there's everything. I think that fire spam is definitely to give a shout out to you.
It's all you. Thanks a lot, though, that for the shout out as well. And I see so many questions still coming up. Would you like to let's jump onto them real quick?
Sure, of
Let me
course,
quickly
yes.
bring that up. There's one question from Butt. Is the service only limited till you complete engineering?
So if you get access to all of those services, some of those services are based on like let's say daily or monthly based subscriptions. Like for example, Q&A Maker is up for 3 days once you start using it. So I don't think it'll last till the end of your engineering. But yes, there are some services that even after you avail it, it will be there on your student ID once you avail it, so you can use it even after. But make sure you do register that as a student because as mentioned, it's student perks. So that is something which is important to highlight here.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you grab all of those things. And
Right.
we are gonna do this super soon. Petition to change Santa Claus to Sashrika. What do you think
That
about
is
this?
super interesting. I mean, I pointed it out. It feels like Christmas because there were so many services that I brought to them. And so this seems like a fair petition. I mean, I'm up for that. But then again, like, we're going to do things differently. I brought you a lot of services. I'm going to accept gift. This Santa Claus does, like, this Sashrika Claus does not give gifts. She needs gifts. So just send those gifts over to my house, those perks and swags. I mean, I'd love to see them.
Yeah, we'll definitely drop those things. And yes, we are going to book a stand up as well for you in our next STF Connect, which is coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. IST.
Sure, I'd see if I can make it up to then. And if my jokes are not as good as the stream, I mean, I would recommend you all still laugh just to keep my spirits up. But yeah, we'll see what we can do about that.
Definitely. One more question from Bhat. Should we log in through EduMail to avail the services for free?
Yes, if you have a student email, I would recommend you log in from that because it would be easier for you. As I mentioned, it's like you don't have to like add your credit card details, and so if you register from your college email, it would be helpful.
Wonderful. One more question. Raj is asking, any good certifications which you recommend, one should go it for Azure Cloud specifically?
Absolutely. There's also an MS Learn website. Let me share that link real quick. You can find all of those certification and you can see what it is that you can learn. There are learning paths there. There are docs there, so much more. There's also some of these certifications that you want to enroll for. There's LinkedIn Learning as well if that is something you're interested in. I'll share that. Can you share that with the comment section?
Yes, I'll quickly copy that. Good. Now you all have that link in the chat.
Yes. So this is a very interesting tool that you can use. You can discuss, like customize your own learning path through it all. You can also check out some of these interesting certifications that are there. You can be Microsoft certified and be LinkedIn certified if you want. Like any of these tools and learning paths are there for you. There are certification exams. There are modules that you can work on. There are also code labs. So if you want to use those Azure services while learning those services, they're integrated within and you're all good and set to go. That is how I know about Azure. So I know for a fact that it's an interesting tool.
Definitely, this is your chance. Go ahead and just grab it. One more question is Azure only for Windows apps and services?
Absolutely. Microsoft loves Linux. No, absolutely not. Windows and Linux and all. So we also engage. I also mentioned about iOS apps. So it's not like it's really limited to Windows. There are tools and services for different operating systems as well. It's not Windows specific. You can create Linux virtual machines if you want, as mentioned. So just scroll back in within this session, and you can find all of those discussions that we did regarding that.
For sure. One more question which says like, are there any services for task scheduling?
Yes, absolutely. So there are some services for task scheduling. You can again scroll back in this presentation. I covered a bunch of them. All of those services are basically for you to run parallel services at the same time so that you can build your applications in scale. If you're doing this for a hack, I mean, go ahead and try it out. If you're doing this for learning purposes, I would say deep dive into those services and see what works. Like, what is it that you can find out more about? Again, it's there on MS Learn as well, the link we shared above. So feel free to check that out.
Yeah, make sure you check this link over here right now, which is already shared in the chat, so that you never miss anything from there as well. One more question I see. Is there any service for blockchain in Azure?
Okay, so as I mentioned, there are hundreds of services. On the top of my head, I don't remember the name of service if there is for blockchain. I never explored that, but feel free to do so. There might be a service there is that I'm not sure about, but I can surely find some of these resources up for you. The ones that I just shared are the main ones, are the ones that like a lot of students absolutely use. But if blockchain is something you're interested in, Microsoft would have some resources, if not services, ready for you to learn that, and you can check that out in MS Learn again. That's where I direct you to.
Yeah, definitely. There are indeed a lot of resources and services. Make sure you check all of them out, and whatever suits best to your requirement, why not? Just go ahead with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Which service would you recommend, the hackers at Hack This Fall should use and go ahead with?
Wow, that is an interesting question. I did give like a few shout outs to a couple of services, but if I want to choose one, I would say there are a lot many ML and IoT services that I covered that were absolutely amazing. So if that is something you're interested in, it will add massive amounts of capabilities in your applications and websites. So if that is something you want to use for Hack This Fall to like give you an edge, let's say you want to do detect fraud detection or content moderation for your social media app or anything of that sort, feel free to use those services and make those changes happen.
Wonderful. Interesting question around certification. I see how Microsoft Learn exam score is calculated. Like the passing score is 700, and what's the total score? Anushka didn't qualify for first attempt in A to Z 900. She got 431.
Yes, AZ900 is an interesting certification. And if you want to know more about all of these Azure services, so the services that are mentioned in this entire bit covers a lot about for the AZ900 exams. For those of you who don't know about it, AZ900 is an Azure certification, which is for you to learn more about Azure services, and then like you can write that exam to get that certification. I can
Yeah.
share the link with you for the Azure services. This is one of the things that you can like learning modules that you can use, and then again see the ones that are more specific to you. There are 6 learning modules. You can cover all of that, and then once you do cover all of that, this exam would be super easy for you to cover. Let me share that link too. Right. So it's based upon this, and there are easy 900 learning concepts here. There are 6 modules that you can cover. Very interesting. It also gives you examples that you can use and build your services at scale if that is what you're interested in. So check out this link and it'll be all good.
Awesome. Wonderful. One more question from Bart. How does Azure certifications, like, is it for lifetime, like valid for lifetime?
I think it is. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if you mentioned that it's expiring. I'm not sure if the rules changed. From what I know, it is, you register for the survey, like you give that exam, AZ900, and then it's applicable to you. By just completing the learning modules, you won't get your Azure certifications. You have to write that exam in order to do so. But if the
Yeah.
rules change, you can obviously check out the rules of that exam before giving it, and they'll give you that. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's worth doing. Absolutely. So the thing is that about the various technology certifications and exams that we see out there, once you know, so these certifications, again, what matters most is your knowledge. So Azure is building so many tools at the same time. Like there are so many things that are happening with Azure. So even if you
Yeah.
took a certification and there is an expiry, what I think is that there are many other tools that joined in. So now that certification requires you to have more knowledge as you progress. So you can obviously mention that in your resume and use that certification. So I would definitely recommend you to take that because it's worth doing. There are a lot of companies out there who love to see you know about Azure certification. Since apart from like for students, if we talk about enterprises, Azure is pretty popular with different enterprises, and that is something that we see in our day-to-day work that it's very useful for them if they already know about these services. So take that AZ 900 exam, and if it's like expiring, it's basically because there are new services that are added onto it, and just explore those, and then take that exam again if you want.
Wow, awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing that. One more
Sure.
question from Raj. He's asking like any good services you would like to recommend which they can use for mobile applications.
Ah, nice. I actually covered a segment for mobile apps specifically where there were
Yeah.
backend services, Azure Logic apps. There was also Azure App Service, which is specifically for creating those apps. There's also Power Apps if you want to explore that. Someone mentioned Power BI. I didn't cover that because it's a very powerful tool and it might be confusing at first. But if you want to explore specifically mobile services, great tool to check those out.
Absolutely. So as of now, I do not see any further question, but the only thing which I see right now is all of this hype after this session, around the
Love to
presentation,
see
around
it.
your energy and everything all together. So thanks a lot for like everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Really love to see all of those interesting comments. I mean, appreciate it. And I'm glad you all loved the presentation. Do share all of your experiences and highlights as mentioned here. You can always tag me at the rate Sashrika Kaur, and you can tag Hack This Fall as well. Love to see all of your energy, and I can't wait to see what you build for Hack This Fall. And for like you have a good lot of time here. Think about the services, put that in. You'll love my energy. I all loved your energy as well with all the fire emojis in the comment section. Absolutely amazed by it. So do share all of your experiences, and if you have some of these hackathon ideas, make sure that you form teams around it. Mention like share that in your Discord server, and then form teams with other hackers. Learn together.
Absolutely wonderful. And thanks everyone. It was like indeed super amazing session. And as Sashrika mentioned as well, don't forget to take a screenshot. Let's give a quick pose to them,
Sure.
maybe. For I know you are
Absolutely.
also
Let
ready.
me just
But
dress up.
take your
Okay.
time.
I'm all good. All right. I'm not
Awesome.
gonna see the comment section for a bit. Ready?
Go ahead. Cool. I guess that was pretty much. But make sure you have taken the screenshot. Feel free to share it on socials. Tags tag Sashrika. You can tag Hack This Fall. You can tag MLH as well at the same time. And while you're sharing, just not share. Add what you have learned. What were your takeaways from this session, so that someone who might have not been able to join the stream, they can learn something new as well by maybe seeing your post or tweet online. So that is something you can definitely do and add a lot of value around yourself. So that was pretty much from our end. But Sashrika, thanks once again. It was indeed an amazing session, and I'm sure hackers at Hack This Fall or anyone watching this stream in the future as well would definitely had so much to learn from this particular one.
Thank you so much for inviting me here, Siddharth. I mean, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me here, and love to see the community you've built here for Hack This Fall.
Awesome, and see you on our Discord maybe next Wednesday for a stand-up.
Absolutely. I try to make the there for sure. I mean, I really try.
No problem at all. Even if it's not possible, that's fine. We totally understand.
Sure. Love to see you all lovely faces, and I'm gonna see you around on Discord. Feel free to ping me if you have questions. Thank you so much. All right.
Awesome. Bye bye, Sashrika. Cool, everyone. Thanks a lot for being a wonderful audience, keeping up that energy. I'll quickly share the feedback form link in the chat. Make sure you fill that out so that, we'll be able to distribute the certificates as well for this particular live stream. And apart from that, as you all know, we have already been doing so much of, engagement activities, so many events, Discord at Steve Connects, Twitter Spaces last month, this month's speaker sessions, and so much more. And thanks a lot for being a wonderful hacker community member. Super glad to have you all being a part of Hack This Fall at the same time. Just a heads up, if you haven't checked our schedule page yet, make sure you check that out. All the upcoming speaker sessions are listed over there. We already had very like around 8 or more speaker sessions already in the past. So all the recordings are there on our YouTube. Make sure you check them out as well. If you haven't joined our Discord, do join it right away because you do not want to miss some of the awesome things happening in our Discord server. And one of the quick update, we are also participating as a guild in upcoming Major League Hacking Local Hack Day Learn. So stay tuned for that. More updates are going to be announced in our Discord and on our social medias as well. So keep an eye on that. If you're a swag lover just like me, make sure you grab your digital swags and have an opportunity to earn a Hack This Fall swag pack for yourself by visiting hackthisfall.tech/swag, which is our swag store right away over there. That was pretty much all the links are there in the description. So if you haven't checked them yet, make sure you check them out as well. One more quick thing before I end this stream. I do have a swag giveaway winner from this particular stream as well. As I promised, I'll be doing a swag giveaway in each and every stream. So without wasting much of your time, let me quickly bring up the winner of this swag giveaway, which goes to Vraj Desai. Everyone, have a huge round of applause for Vraj in the chat. Thanks a lot, Vraj, for asking questions, being active in the chat, and being a part of our hacker community. Congratulations to you once again. Make sure you DM me on Discord for further steps, for knowing further steps to redeem your swag. Well, that was pretty much. Thanks a lot, everyone. Stay tuned on our socials, on our announcement channels, and I'll take a leave from here and see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.